Hi friends, and welcome back to my studio. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a Longarm quilter, and here on my channel I share customer finishes as well as my personal projects. So today I have some customer quilts to share with you, and I wanted to give you an update on my quilt along that I am doing with my Quilt Circle membership. This is Joy Filled. This is our second quilt along for this year. We did Somerville the first half of the year, and the second half of the year we're doing this pattern by Corey Yoder. We are currently on block number 5, but I don't think I showed you all my block number. I think I showed you one of my block number 4, so I just wanted to share those with you real quick. I think maybe I shared this one with you in the past, I think. But if not, so this is block number 4. There are 3 of these in the quilt, and this is my first one. I am using Lisa Bonjean's fabric, American Gatherings 2, and I'm finding with a lot of these prints are directional, and with some of the cutting and the blocks that we're doing in this quilt along, it makes it a little difficult. So I love the fabric with the state names on it. It's so pretty, but when you're doing half square triangles, those don't always line up with everything. So I did all of the squares so that they lined up. They're all directional so you can read the names. And some of the half square triangles turned out the way that we needed them to, and others they're a little off. They're turned the other way. And I think I mentioned this last time when I showed this to you, that you know, I would have to make double the blocks if I wanted to get just all the words going the same way. So it's not a big deal. But that's the first one. The second one, then I did the same. Let me switch this out. The second one, I did the same color scheme, meaning I did the red in the middle and on the 4 corners, and then did the square, the blue. Now with this one, again, this print is directional, but this time what I did is the middle block is the lines are going horizontal, and then with this one and this one I did the block horizontal, and then I made the half square triangles that were next to it also going horizontal, and then the ones in the corner, because these half square triangles were going to be vertical, I went ahead and turned this block so that it was vertical as well. So the prints within, you know, this portion of the block all are directional, going in the same way, but they're not all matching in the same thing. So yeah. But that's what happens when you're working with directional prints. Either you've got to cut double of things so that you get it to work out right, or you just go with it. It's not going to matter too much. All right, we are on to block number 5. There are, these are not large blocks, and actually these are super simple. They go so fast. So in the quilt top, there are 8 of these blocks. They go super fast. Now, when I matched up when I first started the pattern, it calls for a fat 1/8 bundle, which is what I purchased of the American Gatherings. And then what I did is I paired all of my reds and blues together so that I could get kind of coordinating prints for these, because I didn't want to end up with a blue stripe and a red stripe in the same block. So when I separated everything out, I grouped a red and a blue that were complementary designs to each other. And now I am down to, I've used all of those. And so what's left in the fat 1/8 bundle are these lower volume prints. So where you can see it's the red and the blue. And if you get in close, you can see the colors, but farther away, it looks very washed out. It looks almost a grayish color, but that's what I'm left to. And I had thought about, do I purchase a second fat 1/8 bundle so that all of these blocks were the darker reds and blues? And I decided not to. I need to use what I have. Otherwise, if I purchased another fat 1/8 bundle, I was going to use up all the reds and greens, and then I would have double the low volumes left over. So I just decided that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to use these. They will be interspersed throughout the quilt. So on these, there are 4 of them here. two of them here and two of them down here. So they're going to be in different spots, and there's going to be the reds and the blues, the very vibrant reds and blues are also going to be spread out throughout the quilt. So a couple of the other members have said they wish that they had not done lower volumes, but I don't want to buy another Fat 8 bundle. I want to use up what I have. So this is one of them. And then the second one that I've made, we're only doing 2 of these a week, and they're super fast, and some members have already finished up. But this one, this is that print that has the state names on it. I love this print. But this one was so cool because this one you're creating half square triangles, and then you layer those half square triangles so that the print, so if I have the print and the white, and then I'm layering one right on top of that has the print on the opposite side and the white on this side. So then when you do your stitching a 1/4 inch away from that diagonal line and you open it up, then you have the hourglass units. And so look at this. So when I did these, all of the state names are the right way, because 2 of these blocks are turned horizontal and 2 of them are vertical. It works. So didn't plan that, but it worked out, and I'm so happy with that. So only 9-inch blocks, they're not huge, and they go super fast, and that's where I'm at on my Joy-Filled Quilt Along with my Quilt Circle membership. I only open this membership up a couple times a year. I'm probably going to wait until November so that any new members can get in on the 1st of the year as we start things up the 1st of the year. With our October is super busy here in our family with a new baby coming anytime, new grandbaby coming anytime, either the end of September here, the 1st of October, and then we have a wedding the end of October. So I'm not going to put the added stress of on myself of opening the membership during that time. So I think I'll wait till November sometime. But if you're interested in being a part of that Quilt Circle membership, this is for isolated quilters who want to find inspiration and encouragement and motivation to continue on your quilt journey. You want some buddies to quilt along with, and that's what this whole group is about. It's a really fun group. We're enjoying getting to know each other and showing our projects and helping each other out. So I've put that information down below if you want to be on the wait list so that you are notified when that membership opens up. You'll want to put your name on the wait list. So that is Joy-Filled. So the other thing I have worked on this week is starching my fabrics for the Hometown Holiday Sampler quilt. And I told you I'm starching all my fabrics this time. The thing I'm learning, it takes a lot more starch than I ever thought. And I'll be excited I haven't started into cutting the fabrics yet at all. I'm still just, I'm starching them and they're drying. And so we'll see. We'll see how I like this. I don't know. It's a whole extra step that I've never taken before. So we'll see if it's worth the time. I will insert a time-lapse video of myself doing all of the starching here. And like I said, it took a lot more starch than I thought. So for customer quilts today, let's start right here with Sue's quilt. So Sue created this quilt using the Moda Blockheads number 5, group number 1. These are free patterns put out by the Moda designers. I'm not sure how often they come out. I'll link it down below. You can, a designer creates their block and posts it, and it's there. All the instructions are there. And so this is Moda Blockheads number 5, group 1. So all Moda designers. And Sue said she created the setting herself. How cute is that? So the fabric line she used is Moose Lodge, and you can see those wintry prints, the animal prints, and then she said, so Moose Lodge is done by Jan Shade Beach for Henry Glass, and then she also used Through the Winter Woods by Holly Taylor for Moda, and then this white that you see is actually a low volume. It has it's a tone on tone. It's got snowflakes on it. It's really, really pretty. And she wasn't sure of that designer of that. If I can find it, I'll link it down below as well. So all of the blocks are from the Moda Blockheads. And like I said, those patterns are free. You can find those. And then I love her setting. She's done the big hourglass units to set these off. This quilt does measure 58 by 70. So it's actually longer side to side than it is in the length, and that's really fun. This would be so cute on the back of a couch because it's a little shorter this way, so it's going to fit perfect over the back of a couch, and you're going to get to see most of the quilt that way. I love the plaids in this line, the pine cones, and here too there are cardinal prints that she's fussy cut and put in the corners here and in some of the other blocks. She also has cardinals on the back. How pretty. Very, very nice. I know Moda gives settings so that you can use those blocks that you've made and put them into different projects or quilts, but Sue, you could do like Sue did and create your own design. Really, really fun. For the pantograph, she gave me lots of choices, and I ended up choosing the Woods, which is a new pantograph to me. I did get this off Urban Elements, and it's just trees. It matches this design so well. So it's your evergreen trees. There's some medium ones, some larger ones, some smaller ones, and then a meander in between so that you get from one design to the other. It does nest up into each other a little bit, so it gives that whole forest effect where the trees are like you would see in the distance, you know. So let me get in here a little close. See if you can see that. Didn't do it super tight. I mean, you know, sometimes when you're getting in all those zigzags, if you do it super tight, then that machine is just going crazy trying to get into all those stitches. So, and your trees are, you know, so this tree is probably 3 inches, this one's only 2, and then there's some larger ones. I did use a cream color thread on here. The backing is a cream color with the greens and the reds and the browns. The cream color blended really well. And that is an omni thread in cream. Very pretty. Very nice job. All right, let's move on to Sue's second quilt. Sue's second quilt. This is just a checkerboard patchwork pattern, she said, and then with a couple borders on it. The fabrics mainly come from threads that bind, and that's a Blackbird design. Love Blackbird design. Love the cross-stitch fabric or cross-stitch patterns as well. And so mainly that. She also did use some Butter Churn Basics, which is fabric by Kim Deal. So charm packs, so 5-inch squares, and she put them all together in a pleasing design. She added 2 small borders, the pink, and then I like this, the rosy color in the border then matches the rosy colors in the flowers in the border. And then the backing fabric is also a Blackbird design, just a tone on tone gingham, or like a tan with a little darker brown like that. So pretty. So such a nice easy quilt. Quilting doesn't have to be hard. pull out those charm packs or cut your own 5-inch squares of your fabrics that you enjoy and put it together in a nice quilt. So this measures 55 by 64. And the Pantograph she chose was Baptist Fan. And I used Three Sisters fabric. They have a Pantograph called Easy Baptist Fan. Love this, love this. Did this in, I didn't write down the thread color on this one. I think it was cream. It may have been just a shade darker than cream because these are a little darker prints. So you can see the Baptist Fan. This usually, when I pull it in to Pro Stitcher, which is my software, the sizing that it is usually the size that I leave it. Sometimes I'll do it smaller, but most of the time I leave it that size. It's a good size that it pulls into. Some Pantographs that you pull in, they'll be 15 inches tall, and that's just way too big. So I'll shrink those down. But this is one of those that it's pretty much at the size you need it at when it pulls it into your program. So super easy. I love Baptist Fan. I think Baptist Fan is one of those, you love it or you hate it. I know there's people that don't like it, but I like the classic design, and I just think it added so much texture onto this quilt, and just really made for a stunning quilt. So really like that. So those are Sue's quilts. This is Ruth's quilt, and Ruth's quilt is the Exploding Heart quilt. This is a pattern put out by Slice of Pie Quilts, and so cute. This is 72 by 72, so a square quilt. I'm not sure the fabric line, but she's done it all in yellows, pinks, and oranges. Very fun. So this one, it looks complicated. I think this is more in the layout than it actually is in the piecing. So a lot of hourglass units, like we just saw in my like you saw in the beginning with my Joy-Filled quilt or blocks that I was working on. So you have your hourglass units are a lot of these. Some of the hourglass units are just 2 prints on a side, and then here is the other side of that square where half of the square is just the solid background print and the other half is the 2. And that's how you get those diagonal lines for the shape of the heart. And then even the parts around the outside that are all background, those are all squares. That's not done as one big piece or one yardage. So you're really laying this out all in squares. Just some of those squares are hourglass units, all hourglass units. I thought some were half square triangles, but they're not. They're all done as hourglass units. Just sometimes that other half of the hourglass is one solid color. For the backing fabric, she chose this rainbow print. This is it feels like a minky, but not quite as tall of a nap as a minky, but it feels like that. It's very soft. You can see the texture that the threads created. I think you can. We did the Deer Heart Pantograph, and Ruth did not want it very big. Or no, she didn't want it very small. So this is much larger than you've seen it on other quilts, and this just works perfect. So this heart is as large as my fist, and then it just swoops, does the heart up, and then it swoops, does the heart down, and that's how it stitches across. Did a cream thread on that. So light and fun. That backing gives it a little bit of heaviness to the quilt, but so fun. A really fun quilt. This is Jennifer's quilt, and isn't it just so darling? Look right here in the middle. She has this embroidered little girl with her basket of flowers and her bonnet, and a cute little kitty cat next to her, her little boots. It's just so cute. So Jennifer said she did the embroidery using a pattern from Embroidery Library. And then the pattern itself, she said she created on EQ8. Are you familiar with EQ8? On my Quilt Circle membership last month, we did a whole program. One of our members is very proficient in EQ8. This is Electric Quilt 8, and that's the current version that's out, and this is where you can create your own quilt patterns on there. It doesn't write it for you, but you can lay out your blocks and things like that. So in our Quilt Circle membership, we just had a whole tutorial on this. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But EQ8 is where you can create your own patterns. So she created the pattern in EQ8 using a free block pattern from Fat Quarter Shop as an inspiration. So use the inspiration that she saw with you see the block right here. So the star in the middle, and then almost like a flower type design on the outside. She used the fabrics from Sweet Liberty by Brenda Riddle. This is just absolutely beautiful. The quilt measures 43 by 43. Love the pinks and the reds, love stripes. I always love ginghams, and floral are even better. Just so pretty. Love the blue palette with the reds and the pinks. Very, very pretty. And the embroidery has the same colors in it as are in the fabrics themselves. So just beautiful. And then the fabric on the back, it's a small scale little blue flower. Just so pretty. Very pretty. We did the binding on this one as well, and she used that red gingham. Can't go wrong with a red gingham binding. So for the pantograph, she asked if we could do something classic that allows the piecing and the fabric to shine. So I gave her a couple choices, and she went with orange peel. Now the orange peel that I use is called No Fuss Orange Peel. This is a pattern by Julie Hurt, and I like the way this stitches out. It does have some precise points. So if you're a beginner, I would not start with this unless it's just a practice piece that you're working on. This just takes practice. And there was a time that I really shied away from patterns like this. Over time, I work with them. I still don't think that I do it perfection like I see some people do. But it's good and I like it. And so we used a white color thread on this one. I do use Omni thread, and this is in the natural white color. That's what I used on this. A lot of just solid white background fabrics, and so the white was perfect. All the other colors are light and bright, and so I used this natural white in Omni is number 3002. I also have a bright white. This is 3001, and I don't know if you can see the difference. Whites on camera get very washed out and kind of change everything else around them for a while. But the bright white I don't use very often. It almost has a silvery sheen to it. It's like fresh sunshine or fresh, it's like fresh snowflakes. You know how it kind of sparkles and shimmers. That's kind of what it gives me the hint of. And for me, most quilts, it's just too bright. You might try this if you're wanting to, maybe on a wintry type quilt where you're wanting a little more of a white shine, but otherwise I always use natural white in 3002. So that's what I used on here. Let me get in a little closer, see if you can see the orange peel design. Orange peel is just a classic one. So didn't want to make it too small because she said she did want obviously you've got embroidery, and I know that's going to be a question too. Do you stitch through embroidery? I do. My machine doesn't have a problem with it. You can hear it when it hits it. It's a heavier, it's a lot thicker, and this one's pretty dense, but it went right through it, no problem, no tension troubles at all. You might slow your stitch the stitching down a little bit just so that it has time to get through there and get back up and isn't running as fast as your other stitching, but I had no problem with it. And I always use the scoop foot, the glide foot on both of my machines. I do. Now this is down, the embroidery is actually done on the fabric. It's not like it's sitting on top of it or anything. But I always use a glide foot. I keep it on there all the time just so that it goes over your edges around your quilt, when you're basting those edges so it doesn't flip any of those up. And you still have to watch, even with the glide foot, sometimes it does. But I find it much less often with that scoop or glide foot. on there. So the orange peel, I didn't make this super small. That's what I was getting at about the embroidery, because she wanted that to be able to shine and be the focal point. The quilting is really just in the background. And so these are probably 3 inches tall, was how large I made the orange peel. So, and the way Julie Hurt's design is done, you're not doing the entire orange peel at once. You're really, it's doing the, oh man, now I kind of forget. You're doing like 1/2 of the row at a time. So it's down, 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 then it comes back and does the scoop underneath it, and then it comes back the next row and goes down, 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 down. So you're not making that full circle shape at once. It's just one set of leaves. So up, you know, and then you're coming back and doing the scoop underneath it or on top of it if you're on that part of the orange peel. So works out really well. I like this one. So that's Jennifer's quilt. And these are Natalia's tiny little quilts. Aren't they just adorable? Look at these. So Natalia is part of Adidas Sitar's mini quilt club, and I will link that information down below. So in reading about it, it says that each month, if you're part of the subscription, each month you receive the pattern, the fabrics, the backing, the binding, everything you need to create these little quilts. So 1 per month. This one is called Coal, and all Adidas Sitar fabric, so just beautiful color palette. And we did the pantographs on this small scale so that they went with the quilts. So this one is Saffron Blossom. You can see how tiny, how small we did that design. She said she's going to hang all of these, so I have a series of 5 of them. She's going to hang all of these on her sewing room wall. So she wanted all the pantographs to be condensed, very small, very similar in scale on all of them, because they're all going to be displayed together. So that's one. And then the schoolhouse, how adorable. Love this, and the backing. Love the backings. They're just as cute as the front. And on this one we did pine boughs. Let me see if I can, you might be able to see it on the roof there. So cute. Used a cream color thread on all these. That matches really well with Adidas Sitar's color palette. Look at this one. This is log cabin blocks. Look how small these pieces are. That center square. My goodness. And I love, so when I'm when you're in close to these, you see individual log cabin blocks. And then I hold it up like this, and I'm like, look at this star. It's so cute. I love it. And then this one, we did Baptist fan. And again, a small scale. Very cute. Very cute. This one and the schoolhouse one are vying for my favorites here. Then this one is a trip around the world. So all the blocks vary in size. Obviously this one's a little more rectangle in shape. Some of them are square in shape, all different sizes. But look at the piecing on that, so pretty. So around the world. Again, she's going to hang these on her sewing room wall all together, all displayed together. This one we did espresso. I'm not even sure you'll be able to see that one. But I've shown espresso many times on other quilts, but again, this is very small scale. Did it tiny to fit right in there. And then the last one is this basket one. I don't know, this one kind of is cute too. It may vie for my favorite, I don't know. Oh, so many. And you can see the pantograph on this one. This is ground cover. And the backing on this, love the backing. So cute. Oh my goodness. These are just adorable. So if you would like to get one of these kits in the mail each month, you can jump over to Adidas Sitar's link that I've put down below for her mini quilt kits that come each month in the mail. And this is Sharon's Pressed Flowers quilt. If you remember this quilt, this was the Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler box. This was their quilt along. Each pattern, so each flower block pattern came in one block a month in the Sew Sampler box. This ran from April of 2023 to March of 2024, this past year. So I have all of the patterns. These are still available on the Fat Quarter Shop. If you perhaps started the Sew Sampler box late and you don't have the first few patterns, you can go in and buy just the one pattern. Or you can buy them all as a set. So if you're missing any of yours from the Sew Sampler box, just know that you can go purchase those individually as well, or you can purchase the whole set. And then it does have a separate card that is for the finishing instructions. This also is available as either a PDF or the paper copy. And I had a comment recently about just have trouble buying a PDF pattern at the same price as you do the printed pattern. And I understand that. There are times when I will buy a PDF pattern because I want the convenience of having it in my hands in the next 2 minutes. And I feel like, you know, that I'm paying for that convenience to be able to print it myself, have it right now. Most of the time I prefer to have the cardstock or the glossy print of a PDF or of a quilt pattern, and I will just wait for it to come in. But there are times, I mean, really, that's what you're doing. You're paying for that convenience. I know you're paying, you're using your own paper and your own ink to print it, but you have the convenience of having it right away, and you're supporting a designer. You know, this is somebody's livelihood, and as a small business owner myself and someone who earns my income by creating beautiful things and finishing basically an artwork, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for somebody's time and their skill of putting a pattern together. So these are still available. Now, you're going to notice that Sharon's quilt is done with a different colorway than what the called for is, but this is a free PDF on the Fat Quarter Shop website, and it gives you the same quilt along but in all these different fabric choices. So they have it in fig tree fabrics, they have it in Stacy West fabrics, and they have it in Bunny Hill Blueberry Delight, and that's what Sharon chose. Love the blues. It reminds me of like fine china, doesn't it? I just love this. So Bunny Hill Designs is the designer. Blueberry Delight is the name of the fabric line, and this was done by Moda. They also give you choices for Lori Holt fabrics, as well as Pat Sloan and Nancy Halverson did a colorway for that. And vintage one, you can use Threads That Bind by Blackbird. Also paired with Spotted by Zen Chic. So again, this is a free PDF. You can print this off for yourself or just look at it online. If you want to do this quilt along in a different colorway and not the called for, which was the Sugarberry, let me show you a different one, which was the Sugarberry by Bunny Hill Designs. So Sugarberry is the mauves and the pinks and the grays, where her other line is in the blues. And I think this is just absolutely beautiful. Sharon did a really nice job. And again, it just reminds me of fine china. I just think this is so, so pretty. So the background fabric, you can see here, this is a low volume. It's a white with a just a bit of beige or taupe printed on it, just little leaves, and that was her background fabric that she used for the setting instructions. So each of the block has a different light, low volume, almost a tone on tone for those. So once you get the patterns for each of the 12 blocks, then they give you the setting instructions, which were these diamond parts in the middle, and you need more fabric to put this, because this is set on point. So that's the way that is done. Her backing fabric is so beautiful. Some of that same line is just so beautiful. So for the pantograph, she chose the 60s Mod Butterfly. This is also a Julie Hurt pantograph. So, so pretty. Now this one does stitch out horizontally. So when you're looking at it, it looks like the butterflies come down in lines going down the quilt. In order to get that, you have to load the quilt sideways. So this was actually loaded on the long arm in this direction, and those butterflies stitch out this way. So these are probably four inches tall is my guess when I did it. I did it, you know, a little bit larger. I didn't try to do it really super small. It fit really well with the size of the flower blocks, and I just love this pantograph. So I did use a cream color thread. I did bring that one with me as well. This is 3004, also in the Omni. The cream on this one reads just as a neutral. If I would have done white, and here is the white, you can see how much brighter that is. I can, maybe it's harder for you to see how much brighter that is on the quilt top. And these background fabrics are more of a cream color, and so the white just shows up really bright on there. This is the bright white, and you can kind of see how much brighter that is. It was just going to really stand out. I don't know. Whites just don't do good on camera. So the cream, much better. Here's the cream. I'll hold it up too. So maybe you can see all three draped over there. It's worth a try. So you may just have to audition them yourself to see which you prefer. I prefer the cream on this color of a quilt and think it blends in with the fabrics really well. This one does end up measuring 59 by 76, a nice size quilt. So beautiful. And Sharon's second quilt, this is a pattern by Deb Strain of Coach House Designs. This is, you purchase it as a panel, and then you fussy cut the panel and set the panel pieces inside these, inside the wreaths. Isn't that cute? And then the big part of the panel is in the center, and it is bordered by a gray and white gingham. And then there are pieced tree blocks on the side, and I love that the tree blocks have tree fabric in them, and you can see that one there as well. So I do believe you can buy this as a kit. You can just buy the pattern itself. If you want to make this exact pattern, you are going to need the panel for it. The fabric line that is paired with the panel, and the panel is part of this fabric line, it is called Holiday at Home, and that is also by Deb Strain. So the fabric line comes with the panel, but you can also do other quilts with just the yardage, which is so pretty. And look at the border on this too. The border is a little house print, a white farmhouse. Do you see that? So cute. The skinny green border, I love that. That is probably a 1/2 inch finished on that border. So cute. I love the skinny border. And the outside border is not huge. It's probably only a 2-inch border around the outside, but super cute. I love the border print. It matches the fussy cut panel, the white farmhouse. Home is where the heart is what it says. Others say there's no place like home. And then the top blocks, the top side blocks, have the birds. What are those? Chickadees, maybe? And those match the birds on the center panel. You do have a robin, not a robin. You do have a cardinal on there, just that little hint of red in the cardinal, and then some red hints of berries on there as well. Then the backing fabric is part of that same line. It's the yardage from that, and those same birds and pine cones and greenery. So pretty. All right, for the pantograph on this one, she chose Glimmering Stars, and you can see you have a big star, and then you have swirls, and then you have a smaller star. It is a 8-pointed star, so very elongated, very tall point, almost like you would see on the top of a Christmas tree, one of those type of stars. I did this fairly large, didn't want to do it too small, and so this star right here measures probably 5 inches. The smaller one is about 3 inches. Big loopy swirls in between the stars. I did use a cream color thread on this one as well, the Omni 3004. I just felt that this was a little creamier in color and not a super bright white, and I like the cream color on there. Really cute. The Glimmering Stars just gives it that pristine winter type feel on that. I really like the pantograph that she chose on this. Very nice, Sharon. This is Cynthia's quilt, and she is making this as a gift for a niece, and her niece is going to love this. So this is an I Spy quilt, many variations of I Spy quilts. So Cynthia said for hers, she did use the economy block through Kitchen Table Quilts, and I will link that pattern down below. Done in a grid, and you have a fussy cut square, and that's where all of the novelty prints are that Cynthia has picked out. So cute, lots of animals. Lots and lots of animals, but there's a tractor, a bulldozer, there's ice cream cones, just all of those novelty fabrics that you have you're not quite sure what to do with. This is a great idea. So she's fussy cut a square, and then she's put that in a square, and then that in another square, put sashings between the blocks, and then long horizontal sashings between the rows, and created an I Spy quilt. So really, really cute. This is going to be so fun for her niece. And then on the back, she picked a pink Minky. This is in the blossom color. So Shannon Cuddle Minky, and in the blossom color, that really shows off the pantograph. And this is Heart Meander. So simple, but so cute. This can be found on Urban Elements as well. And so it's really cute hearts. I like a heart that's got some beef to it, you know. So the heart there, it goes all different directions. So a nice, good size, a nice round heart. I like that. And then it's got just meander stitches, just some curly cues there, and then it goes on, so the hearts go different directions, so the pantograph doesn't necessarily have to be directional. It looks good no matter which way you're looking at it. For thread color, we did use a light pink Omni thread for this one. And the color I chose is 3129, so it's just a light pink color. I did use that on the top. Because I was using Minky on the back, I did just use a pre-wound bobbin. I believe I used cream or white. I don't quite remember. Again, with the Minky, it just soaks right in. You're not going to see the thread color on the back. You're only going to see the texture. And so I didn't take the time to wind my own bobbins in that pink color, instead just using a neutral color. And then the pink shows up just very lightly on the blocks and in the sashing of this quilt. So cute, and a great way to use up those fabrics. And this is Trisha's cute little quilt, Halloween quilt. This is called Bats and Booze, and this was a mystery quilt along that Fat Quarter Shop did back in 2021. So the final quilt measures 40 by 40. It was a mystery, but all the patterns are now revealed, and you can download those for free on the Fat Quarter website. And the fabric line that was used on this one was Holiday Essentials, and that's by Stacy Itsu for Moda Fabrics. You may be able to find that fabric line still available, but I will link several other more current Halloween fabric lines down below. So if you're wanting to make this quilt, there are also fabric requirements. This is a free PDF on the Fat Quarter Shop, so it tells you how much of each one you need. Perhaps you have these in your stash, and they don't necessarily have to be Halloween themed. You could just use an orange print, a black print, a gray print, whatever's in your stash. It doesn't take too much, just about a yard of each thing besides your backing fabric, so you may have plenty in your stash. So this is all free. It can be downloaded, super simple. There was also a Bats and Booze stitch along, so if you'd like to create a cross stitch piece that matches, you can do that as well, and I will link that down below also. So cute. So you have the 4 pumpkins. This is much like a table topper because it could be viewed the same way from all the directions. Look how they created the bat in the corners with just piecing, and then the star in the middle. And then there is a bat print for the border. The backing is part of that line as well, and that's just orange, black, and gray crosses on there. Really cute. So for the pantograph, Trish said she didn't want any, she likes texture, but she didn't want any spider webs, anything like that. So I sent her some choices, and what she chose, this is a pantograph called X's, and that's spelled E-X-E-S, and this is done by the Longarm League. And it has a sort of a cross in the middle with these echoed curved parts out to the side. So I like this one for, I don't know, to me, I've done this on a couple of Halloween quilts. I think it just gives a little bit of a hint towards some texture there. Not really, I don't know what it is that strikes me that seems like Halloween, but I like the texture on this one. I did use a white thread. All the background fabrics are white on here, and even on the backing. So an X, and then it has these little bit of echoes outside of it, and then the next row down is offset by 1/2 of the row so that it nest up in there together. So really cute. Can't wait for Trish to get it back. And then we go from Halloween all the way to patriotic, and I love this quilt. This is Miss Americana, and this was a pattern and fabric by Lella Boutiques, and that's Vanessa Gortson, who owns Lella Boutique. And love all. I like the lighter blues and the grays. You do have some florals, but polka dots and stripes, and the American flag. Each one is set off by some sashing. Very light, very summery, a nice, almost a nautical feel to it, I guess, with those lighter blue colors in it. This is a pattern that you can get on Fat Quarter Shop, but they also have a quilt kit using the Old Glory fabric line, which was what this is, and was also what is also done by Vanessa Gortson of Lella Boutique. So pretty. This one measures 65 by 73, so this would be a great summertime throw on the couch, just lightweight, or just up for decoration. So pretty. The backing fabric is a cheater print, and look at that. And I believe this has all the same fabrics as the front, so it's got to be part of the same line. And I'll look that up and link it below. But the the compass stars there, just so pretty. All the light blues and the reds, just absolutely gorgeous. So for the pantograph, Trish said she wanted something wavy, and she had seen this pantograph, I believe, on the pattern of Lila Boutique. This is called Ocean Waves, and it's done by My Creative Stitches. So you just have those deep waves all the way around. It does come, if you can kind of see, it comes to a point and then opens up in waves, comes to a point, open up to a wave, and then that next row underneath it just fits right in there as well. And let me bring it in a little closer. I still need to trim up this quilt, so you're going to see the batting around the edges, but I will be doing that and then sending this back to Trish. So you can see the waves going across there. Just makes the, even though this is called Ocean Waves, it really makes the flags feel like they're just flying and waving. Did use a white thread, white Omni thread, and then white Magna Glide pre-wound bobbins on for my bobbin thread. Really cute. So fun, so fun. This is still available, so you can get it and work on it for next year so that you can have your patriotic quilts all ready to go. I did want to mention right here at the end that I will be doing a question and answer video soon. I get lots of questions in the comments and as well to my email. And while I always try to answer those individually as well, I just thought a lot of you may be asking the same questions and haven't asked me directly. So I just thought I would compile all of those into one long video. It can be about my business, it can be about quilting, it can be about long arming, about my family, whatever your questions are. You can put those in the comments or send me a direct email, and I will compile all those, group them into categories, and then the ones that are most popular, I will put together into a video. So all your questions and answers, or all your questions, you give me the questions, I'll give you the answers that I have. So that is my video for today. If you are in need of long arm quilting services, I hope that you'll find my information down below. You can download the long arm prep and order form, and do check out my website at tammyernestquilting.com. And I will be back here next week because every quilt is worth finishing. We'll see you then.